Last night at the Big A, the Angels picked up their 7th win in a row and finally caught and passed the Astros in the race for the wild card. Now with only 5 games remaining, the Halos have their eyes on the West too, as they go for crazy 8s in their fight for the playoffs. A's and Angels is next. Beautiful late afternoon for baseball here at the Big A. The Angels looking for the series sweep, a homestand sweep at that. Today it's the final game of this 3-game set against the visiting Oakland Athletics. The Angels with the victory last night and the Houston Astros losing to the Seattle Mariners involved with the Angels to the 2nd spot in the wild card, a half game better than the Astros. Minnesota game and a half back. They're double dipping today against Cleveland. They're winning game 1. The Angels also 2 back of the division-leading Texas Rangers. We welcome you inside the Big A and back to Angels baseball here on Fox Sports West, along with Mark Gubaza. I'm Victor Rojas. And last night it was the offense that came alive once again. We've talked about this throughout the homestand, 1 through 9. Everybody has been contributing. Last night, 14 total hits. And Albert Pujols pretty much accomplished everything imaginable last night, except he didn't play defense.
Yeah, the machine was absolutely on a roll last night. Victor, take a look at our tools of the trade brought to you by Ram Trucks. Albert did it all last night with that bat. With Mike Trout on at second base, a pretty good pitch thrown to him by Bassett, but he went the other way. Brought his hands up, got a 96-mile-an-hour fastball, doubles down the right field line, then a base hit right back up the middle. Laurie made a nice play, but he beats it out, showing those wheels for Albert throughout this game, using those wheels. Got another base hit, 3-hit performance, scored 3 runs, stole a base, stealing that base on Bassett, goes before he even delivers the baseball. Eventually he came around to score a big, important run. So Albert did it all. You need your big guys to come through, and the machine did that yesterday.
Well, last night it was Nick Tropiano, had a fantastic start. Let's see what Garrett Richards has in the tank before the Angels head to North Texas for a big 4-game series. We're just about ready for baseball here at the Big A. Sit back and relax. Lineups and first pitch when we return. Angels baseball is brought to you by CarMax. Start the search for your next car at CarMax. CarMax, start here. By Jack in the Box. Taste the Homestyle Ranch Chicken Club today, only at Jack in the Box. And by your Southern California Toyota dealers. Their season home game for the Angels. The Angels have played well here. They are looking for win number 50 on the home schedule. Coming to this one with 49-31 record. Garrett is on the mound, and the hitters on both sides will have to deal with the shadows with the on start time of 4 o'clock here this afternoon. Let's take a look at Bob Melvin's starting lineup for the Oakland Athletics. They roll into this one with a 65-93 record. Sam Fuld will lead things off to play center. Mark Canha back in the lineup at first base. Josh Reddick at right. Danny Valencia at third base. Stephen Vogt is the catcher. Brett Laurie DHing today. Eric Sogard at second base. Marcus Semien the shortstop. And it's Jake Smolinski batting ninth and playing left field as they take on Garrett Richards. 31st start of the season, a career-high 15-game winner this year.
Yeah, he's throwing the ball very well in those big moments for Mike Scioscia's club, giving innings and some quality innings for Richards. 163 strikeouts and 195 in the third innings pitch, looking to get over that 200-inning plateau today. My go-tos for Richards to be successful, though. That's 61% of his pitches combined between his cut fastball and fastball, and the slider's 33%. I still believe that fastball, especially when you're dealing with shadows, could be the most important pitch for him, especially early in the game for Richards to be successful.
Let's check out the Angels defense for this ball game. It is Shane Victorino at left, Mike Trout at center, Cole Calhoun in right, the infield with David Freese and Eric Ibar on the left side, Johnny Giavotella and C.J. Cron on the right. Carlos Perez is behind the plate.
And Mr. Clutch over there also at third base. The team's record when he's been starting at third base, 65-42. He's committed 3 errors in his last 67 games. Has turned also 12 double plays. Important because Richards, when he's on the mound, have turned 18 double plays.
Well, the 4 o'clock starts. We talked about the shadows. The pitcher will be in the sunshine. The hitting area, of course, in the shade. And then in a little bit, we'll see that ribbon behind home plate creep up around to the home plate area. But it'll affect guys for the first couple of innings and finally go away. First pitch tonight is upstairs for ball 1. Sam Fuld seeing action for the first time in this series, hitting 198, a couple of home runs, 22 runs batted in. Very good speed. Burns got the start the first 2 games out in center field. He's off for this final game, at least to start this ball game. Fuld also has 16 doubles and 3 triples. 9 stolen bases this season.
That's a pretty good pitch.
It looked like Chris Guccione wanted to ring it up, didn't. So instead of 1-2, it's 2 balls and a strike. Guccione being asked by the Angels dugout where that pitch was at, and he said it was in. And it wasn't. 2-1 down. Off the plate. 3 balls and a strike. Garrett is coming off a couple of very good starts. Although the walk total is a little nerve-wracking. 12 walks in his last 3 starts. There's a strike to full count.
Yeah, when you add up the last 5 starts for him, 20 walks. So that's something he didn't do a whole lot majority of the season.
I was just trying to paint a prettier picture.
Yes.
Here's the 3-2 pitch. Fuld draws the walk, so the leadoff man is on board. And a lot of it, too, seems to be overthrowing his fastball. We'll talk about that throughout the broadcast. Hey, fans, this broadcast of Angels baseball being broadcast on AFN, the American Forces Network, broadcasting to the U.S. Armed Forces serving around the world on land and on ships at sea. Welcome to our broadcast, and as always, we thank you for your continued service to our country.
Right away, going to have to deal with that speed with Sam Fuld with 9 stolen bases and 11 attempts.
Canha takes a strike. He was out of the lineup yesterday with Muncy getting to start at first base. Canha Monday night ended up going 0 for 4. Was also hit by a pitch. Good season for the rookie. 252 with 15 home runs, 68 RBIs. Hold off to a little bit bigger lead over at first.
A lot of times we talk about how difficult it is to hit, especially when you have the pitcher in the sun, then you have the shade at home plate. But it's also difficult for an outfielder, especially with Trout and Calhoun in center and right field with that sun. Anything hit on the line is going to be a difficult play for him.
Ground ball to third. Should be 2. Freeze to Giavotella for 1. The relay back to first. Low throw. Dug out by Cron. Double play. 2 down.
Freese must have known we were talking about him being able to turn a double play at third base, and Richards once again, that's 19 double plays being turned with him on the mound. Quick feed to Giovitello, low throw, good scoop. And by C.J. Cron at first.
So Reddick will come up with the bases clear. 272 average for the right fielder. 20 home runs, 76 runs batted in. 1 for 4 game last night. Picked up a double in the first inning off Tropiano. We mentioned what a fantastic start Nick had last night. Matched his career high in innings pitched with 6 2/3. Set a career high in strikeouts with 11. Dribbler foul. As a matter of fact, those 11 punch-outs matches Richards for the season high for any pitcher for the Angels this year. Just a great outing. Had it all working last night.
Yeah, I saw him today, and his arm looked good too, which is important because he's scheduled to potentially get the start on Sunday in Texas.
Oh-2. This one skied out toward left center field. It's playable for either Victorino or Trout. Victorino has a beat on it, I think. And he puts it away for the third out. We'll head to the bottom of the first. Ibar, Calhoun, and Trout coming up with no score. At 83 and 74, and it's a very similar looking lineup that we've seen over the last couple of weeks. Ibar short, leading things off. Calhoun in right, Trout at center, Pujols at DH, Cron at first, Freese at third. Victorino today gets a start in left field with a left-hander on the mound. Carlos Perez is behind the plate, and Johnny Giovitello batting ninth, playing second base. They take on the 37-year-old, now 37-year-old, former Cy Young Award winner by the name of Barry Zito.
Barry Zito's fastball is 83 to 87, slider, curveball, changeup. First started out, he went 3 innings, gave up 6 earned runs. Struggled so far since coming back to the big leagues. But my go-to is to be successful against Zito. Look off speed. You can adjust to the fastball and don't overswing, especially on that big, slow curveball.
Signed in the offseason by Oakland, hadn't pitched in the big league since 2013 with the Giants. And spent most of the season at AAA. 24 games there, 22 starts, went 8-7 with a 3.46 ERA. First pitch changeup, rolled foul. That's what you've got to avoid against Zito. Trying to pull that outside pitch, especially the off-speed stuff. Eric been batting .270, 2 home runs, and 42 runs batted in. Last night, a couple of extra base hits, a triple and a double, 3 runs batted in. Triple was his first of the season. Ball and a strike. It's Zito. That start that he had Saturday was against his former teammate Tim Hudson of the Giants. 3 innings, 6 runs, 8 hits, 2 walks in that one. Little dribbler up the line, and that will go foul. Just never know with that dirt.
Yes. If it's a slow roller, that will roll back fair almost every time. Didn't have as much success with the Giants as he did with the A's, but he had a big postseason. What was it, 2012 for the Giants? Really important for them to be able to need him and get that kind of innings out of him to win that World Series in 2012.
This one's out toward right. Reddick trying to shade his eyes with the glove, moving over, puts it away for the first out. The A's defensively tonight stack up like this: Malinsky, Fold, and Reddick in the outfield from left to right. Valencia, Simeon, Sogard, and Canna from third to first, and both behind the plate.
Now in center field, Sam Fold has done a solid job playing all three different outfield positions. But 11 outfield assists this year, which is tied for 7th in the American League. He's made some outstanding plays diving in the outfield. Very energetic as far as going for baseballs for Sam Fold.
First one to Calhoun. He's in there for a strike. Cole thought that pitch was up and in. 259 average, 24 home runs, 80 runs batted in. 1 for 5 game last night. I mentioned the Angels with 14 total hits. Good chunk of those with 2 outs. 0-2. It's the first time the Angels have faced Zito since June 19th, 2012, right here at the Big A. When he was pitching for the Giants. Would have taken the loss in that game as the Angels won that one 12-5. One ball, 2 strike count. And his major league debut against the Angels, July 22nd, 2000. Being a first-round pick of the Athletics the previous year, 99. Reaching for this one, bounces on the left side, cut off by Valencia. Low throw, and Canna cannot hang on to it. Tried to dig it out, and Valencia had some time to throw that ball. It's an error on the third baseman, his third of the year.
That's the one thing that's really plagued the Oakland Athletics this entire season. That's the 121st error of the season. Had time to gather himself, but then a low throw. Canna unable to scoop it. Like that's one of those baseballs, though. It's much little easier to scoop as a first baseman, a little longer hop. Again, getting that experience as a first baseman for Canna.
So Trout bound with the man on and 1 out.
Trout is 3 for 3 in his career versus Zito.
This time you've got the pitcher's mound and the home plate area fully engulfed in the shade. 2 balls, no strikes.
He's trying to stay away on that curveball, because if he goes down and in with that curveball towards the knees, that's a pitch that Trout can hit a long, long way.
So much success early on in his career. Cy Young Award winner 2002. 23 game winner that year. That's off the plate. 3 balls and a strike, and always had that big hammer, that big curveball, and was never really overly firm with the fastball, but he had that fastball that was up, and that big curveball.
And that's the thing. Now he has to try to get the fastball down. He was much more effective with the fastball up at the letters and start the curveball the same plane.
3 balls, 1 strike. Sonny Gray, originally scheduled to start this game, was scratched before the series started with a hip issue. He's done for the rest of the year. So Barry getting the start instead. 3-1 to Trout. And there's ball 4. So 2 on with 1 out. And Albert coming up. The Twins and the Cleveland Indians playing a doubleheader today because they were washed out last night. Minnesota won the first one. We'll play in just a little while, game 2 of that one. So the Twins pick up a half game Now 1 back of the Angels. The Angels 3 back, by the way, of the New York Yankees for that first wild card spot. The Yankees are playing the Red Sox, just underway now in New York.
Joe Mauer had a big game for the Twins in the first inning, a home run and a double.
Big guns for Cleveland, and all of a sudden
did not pitch well.
They've been folding here of late. Albert takes a strike on the inside corner. Today was Carrasco in game 1. He's for Kluber.
Yes, Carrasco has been throwing the ball exceptionally well.
Pardon me, 2 nights ago was Kluber. Albert hitting .241 with that 3-hit game last night. 38 home runs, 91 runs batted in. Also scored 3 runs. This is fouled off to the right. 0-2.
In my Hyundai key for this game, going AC/DC. For those about to rock, we salute you. These are the days in which the offense, you're looking for some early success. And Albert certainly with some early success, and throughout his career against Zito, .400 batting average, 8 for 20 with 3 home runs.
Calhoun reaching on the air, and Trout with a walk with 1 out.
You see his fastball. He's trying to go paint that fastball at 82 to 84 range at the knees. You remember that? You were talking about it earlier. That fastball will be about 88 to 91 range, but it was upstairs. You get some swing and misses or pop-ups.
Breaking pitch, a little bouncer foul. Tried to wait as much as possible on that breaking ball.
Really the key against that slow curveball for the hitters against Zito was hit the ball the other way. You try to pull, your hips are going to be open up. Keep your hands back as much as possible. I still believe you look off speed against him. You can adjust to 82 to 83.
And it's not a breaking ball. It's not a slurve where it's breaking for a right-handed batter into that lower part of the zone and in. It's going to stay kind of away. It's going to stay true to the breaking ball. There's that changeup, and he pulls this one. Valencia over to second. That's going to be an inning-ending double play. You try to do that, and that's what you get. A lot of results. A lot of ground balls to the left side. We'll head to the second with no score.
We'll check out the big news from around the majors on the Carl's Jr. Sports Update. Garrett Cole on the mound earlier today for Pittsburgh as they try to stay alive in that race. The NL Central and the Twins. Twin Bill today in Cleveland. Talked about how well they played in the first game. See what happens in the second one. Well, when you see a swing like that on a slider, you have to go right back with that same pitch if you're Richards. It's a little too far off the plate, but still the right decision to go with that slider.
Swing and a miss. Down goes Valencia for the first out.
There's a couple sliders. Goes upstairs. Supposed to be a cut fastball, but up above the letters. Very difficult to even make contact with it. 97 for Richards. 164th strikeout of the season for Garrett.
One ball, no strikes on Stephen Vogt. Hitting .261, 18 home runs, 68 runs batted in. Lifted toward the Angels dugout.
Some guys saying, hey, you might want to start that bat a little bit sooner against 98. Richards is saying, no, just stay where you're at.
Upstairs. 2 balls and a strike. The strikeout of Valencia, the first punch out for Garrett. Gave up the walk to start the game. Got a double play ball and a fly ball to left. Caught the corner to even the count. Garrett in his last start faced the Seattle Mariners, and it was right here. 7 innings, 3 runs, 5 hits, 8 strikeouts, the 4 walks through 109 pitches. Down goes Vogt on the breaking ball. Carlos will apply the tag. 2 down.
It's a nasty slider. That one at 90 miles an hour. That hard slider from Richards. Because he's established fastballs in the strike zone, you're going to get swings and sliders out of the zone because of your ability to be in that lower part of the strike zone.
One ball, no strikes on Brett Lawrie, the DH. Got the start at second base the first 2 games of the series. 1 for 4 game last night. 1 for 7 in the series. Upstairs.
Lawrie with good numbers against Richards. 5 for 12. That's a .417 batting average.
Last night, the off-speed stuff is what really worked for Nick Tropiano. Change of sliders. Seen that already. The first 2 batters of this inning for Garrett.
That's the best slider and changeup combination I've seen from Tropiano. That was outstanding.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Great effort by Nick last night. Socha needed some length in the game. Got 6 2/3. Excellent pitching. 11 punch-outs.
Full count now.
Just 1 walk, too, and 103 pitches.
And he walked him. 2-out walk to Brett Lawrie. Second one issued by Garrett. Puts a man on for Eric Sogard. Sogard getting the start today. Second. .250 average with a home run. 34 runs batted in. Pinch hit last night of the 9th inning. It's Matt Latos. Ended up striking out against Matt. Latos making his Angels debut. Worked 2 innings. Gave him 2 hits. Struck out 2.
He looked good. Good velocity on his fastball also.
No balls and a strike. Speaking of new guys, the Angels have a new pitcher. It's JoJo Reyes. We talked about him a little bit on Monday. He was down at AAA this year for the Angels. He's not been in the big league since 2011. Just worked him out and added to the roster today. Grant Green was designated for assignment to make room for him on that 40-man roster. Overthrown fastball gets by Carlos. Brett Lawrie advances to second. Again, I mentioned that in the first inning too about overthrowing his pitches. Not necessarily to need to go 100% every single time on every single pitch, and I mean that from a max effort standpoint.
Because you got to trust that movement anyhow. You don't have to force and muscle up to be able to throw 96 to 98. That's a natural arm motion to begin with for Richards. It's his 17th wild pitch this season.
Ball at 2 strikes.
I imagine he's going to throw another slider in that same plane. So you have to be ready for C.J. Cron or Giavitello for a ground ball to that right side of the infield.
But that last pitch right there, under control. It was down and in, but it was still very much under control.
That's a 90-mile-an-hour slider. Didn't muscle up on that pitch. Allowed him to chase it. Now that was muscled up on. This pitch was well out in front of the plate.
Gibby, you were a high-intensity guy. I mean, I'm sure you muscled up on some of the mindset is what? You're trying to make the perfect pitch every single time?
You don't want to ever think that you didn't give everything you had on every single pitch. But then you look back. I used to watch guys like Tom Glavine and Greg Maddux and see how they can still hit their spots without falling off towards first base or third base if it's Glavine on every pitch.
Bouncer to the left side. 2-hopper for Eric Ibar. And Cron keeps the foot on the bag. Good thing he's a big guy. We'll head to the bottom of the second with no score. Freeze at Victorino. It's the last home game of the regular season. C.J. Cron to lead things off. See the Toronto Blue Jays upending the Baltimore Orioles, game 1 of a doubleheader. They clinched the American League East. Congrats to John Gibbon, DeMarlo Hale, and the rest of the staff there for the Blue Jays. Tough season early on, but boy, oh boy, did they turn things around after that July 31st trade deadline.
Now they lead Kansas City at this point by 2.5 games now as far as the best record.
2 balls, no strikes on Cron.
And they have the tiebreaker on that one, but John Gibbons has been saying if they had clinched today, which they did, they'll try to rest some of his players the last few games of the season. I think they played Tampa Bay at the end of the season.
We got another game tonight in Baltimore.
We'll rest some of the guys so they only score like 11 runs instead of 15.
Troy Tulowitzki had read that he's getting closer to kind of returning.
His shoulder feeling a lot better.
3 balls and a strike on CJ.
And you look at these pitches that Zito has been throwing throughout this game so far. 22 pitches, majority away. Again away. You have to think in terms of you have to use the middle field to go the other way. Eventually, he'll try to sneak something inside. That's when you can turn on. Otherwise, you got to use the middle of the field.
Leadoff man on board. And here's David Freese. .260 average, 13 home runs and 55 runs batted in for David. 27 doubles. Two and 0.
Another 3-0 count. Already 2 walks in the game for Zito. Third time in this game he's been behind the count. 3-0. Freese 3 for 8 in his career versus Zito. He might be getting the green light.
Just caught the top part of the zone. Dribbler foul. Full count. Freese grounds one to short. Got jammed. Second double play thrown by Zito. 2 outs. Fans join the Angels in Tempe, Arizona next spring with the 2016 Angels Spring Training Package. Package includes game tickets, hotel accommodations, merchandise, and exclusive barbecue with Angels players and coaches. Call 800-8-WARM-UP to reserve your package today. Shane Victorino hitting .224 with a home run and 6 runs batted in, getting to start in left field. Zito continues to fall behind here, but no damage as of yet. A couple of walks, and an error by Danny Valencia. The only base runners the Angels have had, but he's been able to get out of it with the 2 ball. 2-1.
That's a good changeup right there from Zito. And when you try to pull that changeup or curveball away, you're either going to hit a ground ball to the left side of the infield or not make contact. Zito is a smart pitcher. He knows exactly what he wants to try to do, what spot he tries to hit. There's a reason why he won a Cy Young. He's had a solid career.
And there's the third walk in the ball game, second of the inning. Comes with 2 outs. Carlos Perez coming up.
Well, you got the sun right over basically over the pitching rubber and the pitcher at this point. Hitters completely in the shade. Still, I think if you're going to look at both pitchers today, the advantage would be at this point Richards, because of the firmness in his fastball, more difficult to see as a hitter.
Carlos hitting .248, 3 home runs, 18 runs batted in. Ground ball through the left side, a base hit. First hit for the Angels in this game. Puts 2 men on for the second time. And it'll bring up Johnny Giavitello.
A few times Zito tried to sneak something inside. He jammed David Freese on one of them, but that time Carlos Perez brought his hands inside that baseball and shot that through the hole between third and short. Certainly a lot of room to right center field here for Johnny Giavitello, who's been hitting the ball that well to that part of the field since he's come back from the disabled list. Hit .467. 3 doubles and 2 triples.
Oh, 1. Johnny grounds with a short. Zito's been a ground ball machine. He's given a lot of base runners, but no damage. We'll head to the third, but no score. A strong fan, you just might see yourself in an upcoming Angels broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile. No scores. We start the third. 8, 9, and 1 coming up for the Athletics. Simeon, Smolinski, and Fold. Garrett Richards, 2 strikeouts and 2 walks. Marcus Semien, the shortstop, a .256 average, 14 home runs and 43 runs batted in. 1 for 4 game last night with 3 strikeouts and a single as the first one misses down low. Lifted out toward right center. It may not be a 12:35 start, but dealing with that sunshine in right center field is very difficult. Tim Salmon talks about that all the time.
Important to have conversations with the center fielder and right fielder all the way through. You can see that as they're walking back to their positions.
Jake Smolinski, a .188 average with 6 home runs, 26 runs batted in.
That's a good under control slider for a strike.
Shot foul. 1-2. Smolinski last night got the start and left, went 0 for 3.
Well, when you see a late swing like that, you have 2 options really. You can go fastball in or basically go right back outside with a fastball that same plane. Basically, the fastball should be a good pitch for him.
Check swing foul. Nice catch. Wow. Brought the glove. That thing got into seats quickly. Just reached over to his left and snagged it.
People happy in the stands that he made that play.
I think everyone on this side of the ball field right now is telling Richards to go fastball in. No more away.
Hey, he's listening to you. Fastball in right here.
Down goes Smolinski, 2 outs.
Boy, and the Angels talked about the success they've had of late. They've won a lot of real close games. Mike Scioscia's club, 10 straight 1-run games. They've won 10 straight, the franchise record. Won 9 straight back in 2009. Overall in 1-run games this year, 33-16, which is best in the American League. Although Mike Scioscia would take a 10-0 win today, though.
Absolutely.
And be happy with that.
Good breaking ball on the outside part of the plate to Fold for strike 1. He drew a walk to lead off the game. What a 2.
So far in this sequence against Fold, Richards, slider, curveball, slider. Might be able to bounce the slider now.
Pitch nowhere near the zone. Looked like Garrett thought it was close enough to call strike, but it wasn't. So it's 2 balls, 2 strikes now. Full count.
That's why we talked about when you set up hitters. He had them set up for a slider down and in, threw a fastball away, and any time after that pitch, the hitter is going to be tracking, looking for a slider the very next pitch.
Little dribbler back to the mound. Nice play by Garrett in his first 1, 2, 3 inning. Right at the bottom of the 3rd. It's the top of the order coming up for the Angels with no score. Ibar, Cole Calhoun, Mike Trout ready to lead things off here against Barry Zito. The Angels have yet to figure out Barry Zito, but you want to talk a little bit about Garrett Richards and the job that he's done. A little bit better of late fielding his position.
Exactly, Victor. He's getting himself in what we call an athletic position, staying down low when he fields that ground ball back up the middle, and you throw from this angle instead of bringing that arm up, and he's going to create more movement when he stands straight up. But you stay down there as an infielder. You see him get in that position, stays low, and then the firm throw from that infielder type throwing angle for Garrett Richards, more an athletic throw for him. He's done a much better job over his last 5 or 6 starts fielding his position.
Ibar hit a fly ball. His first time up, so he's 0 for 1. Zito, no strikeouts, 3 walks, 1 hit allowed. Missed in.
.42 pitches thrown by Zito, 22 strikes, 20 out of the zone. What do we say about don't try to overswing against Zito? Exactly what Eric tried to do there. Even though he was in a fastball count, he doesn't give in, Zito. He will hit both sides of the plate, change speeds, but doesn't throw many in the middle part of the plate.
Ibar hooks one down the left field line. And this one is going foul. That off-speed pitch. Count remains at 2-2. 44 pitches for Zito, 24 strikes and 20 balls. Change up, ground ball to short.
Well, how many times have you said that today? Ground ball to short.
Way too many. 1 out.
It's a 5th ground ball. Shortstop Simeon today. The change up off the outside corner. Again, using the middle field, going the other way.
Cole swinging a miss. Reached down the air by Valencia in the first inning. One pitch. 1-2. First strikeout for Cole Calhoun, or I should say for Barry Zito, and we'll bring up Trout. Well, everyone still seems to wanting to pull everything by Zito.
And here's today's Cold Hard Facts, which are brought to you by Clean, Crisp, Coors Light. Mike Trout coming to the plate 4 straight years with at least 100 or more runs scored, which is a club record. Last year became the first to lead the American League in runs scored in 3 straight years since the Mech. This year he's 4th in the American League as far as runs scored. You're exactly right, though, Victor. When you try to pull a slow curveball away, if you're a right-handed batter, or even a left-handed batter trying to pull the curveball or changeup, you play right into his hands.
And that is driven out to center field. Pretty well hit. And it's 1-0 Angels to dead central by Mike Trout, his 41st of the season.
easier way to score a run for Mike Trout.
Didn't try to pull that one.
No, stayed right middle of the field, got a fastball up and away, used the middle of the field, and well out the center field for Trout. 41st home run. The leg down, the swing path cleared, and the dead center field for Trout. Impressive swing and result for Trout. 89th RBI. Tie now for the second most home runs in a season. There's an Angel with 41 with Troy Glaus. That's a perfect swing. That baseball went a long way.
Two-0 to Albert. Hit at the knees. 2-1. Albert grounded into a double play that ended the first, so he's 0 for 1. Three and 1.
Back to another fastball in. That one just a little bit off the inside corner. Thought for sure he'd go back with a changeup away.
And there's a walk, the fourth issued by Zito. Crone worked a leadoff walk in the second. Slow breaking ball. Evens count of 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-0 Angels. A 2-out home run by Mike Trout. 89th run batted in. 41st of the year. For the Angels, they're 168th. That's up and in. 2-1. Got the corner. 2-2.
C.J. Cron in the month of September with 20 RBI. Important score here too. Red Sox leading the Yankees 3-1. Top of the third. Yankees have lost 2 in a row, potentially 3 in a row.
Crone chases the breaking ball, and Vogel thrown out at first to complete the strikeout. The inning is over, but not before the Angels take a 1-0 lead, courtesy of Mike Trout in his 41st of the season.
Tito tried to get a fastball by him, but Trout said, "You're not going to get that fastball by me." Short, compact swing. Home run over 41 to dead center.
Annual Angels 5K and Fun Run presented by St. Joseph Hoag Health. Coming up April 9th. It's right around the corner. 2016. First 5,000 registered participants will receive a T-shirt, commemorative medal, and 2016 game ticket. Proceeds from the event will benefit the Angels Baseball Foundation. Registration will open in November. For more info, just go to angels.com/5K. Tubi's waving to all the fans that are waving.
They can't see me?
No.
Seriously, Clark?
Yeah, it's not a two-way thing, no. It's not a glass, a pane of glass. It's a monitor in front of you.
Who knew?
Candle, Reddick, and Valencia here in the fourth for Oakland. 3 strikeouts, 2 walks so far for Garrett. Found. And it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Canna grounded into a double play in the first inning. She's 0 for 1. Texas will host the Tigers. Giovanni Gallardo on the mound for the Texas Rangers. Matt Boyd, left-hander, going for Detroit.
Well, Detroit really had a tough time fielding the baseball last night. 4 errors.
Yeah.
3 unearned runs.
And a couple of them bad, silly errors. Three balls, 1 strike. Houston will be at Seattle. That's a night game. 7:10 start Pacific time. Scott Kazmir going for Houston. Tony Zick making his first professional start. He's got a good arm. Chopper to short.
Means that's going to be a bullpen game there in Seattle. Sean O'Malley with the big base hit last night with the bases loaded for Seattle.
Former Angel for about 7 minutes last year. Comes through with a big 2 RBI hit. That was a 2-out rally as well.
Exactly. Trumbo, I think, got a base hit in that inning also.
Yeah.
Not that we were checking.
Right. Right. But I think Smith worked the walk with 2 outs, I think, against Oliver Perez, or got a hit. And then Neshek is the one that gave up the hit to Trumbo and then gave up the 2 runs. Reddick takes a breaking ball. It just missed. Very good pitch. Reddick 0 for 1. Hit a fly ball to Victorine on the first.
50 pitches thrown for Richards, 28 of them in the strike zone, 22 out.
Broken bat roller, and that'll sneak through the right side. Chrome kind of stopped, huh?
Yeah, I thought he might have had a shot on the backhand on that one.
Yeah, or even on a dive. But it's a single for Reddick. First hit for Oakland. Their third base runner.
It's a 97-mile-an-hour cut fastball. Again, that's that down and in zone for Reddick. With good numbers, 8 for 20 against Richards now.
So man on for Danny Valencia, strikeout victim in the second. Valencia took a half a step back as that pitch was being delivered. Good season for Valencia. It started with the Toronto Blue Jays, finishing with the Athletics. Red Sox now lead the Yankees 4-1. Tanaka's on the mound for the Yankees. That game's in the third. 1-1 pitch. Valencia doesn't look comfortable, does he?
No, he doesn't. He hasn't faced Richards before coming into this game. First at bat with a strikeout. And he's looking and hoping, it seems to be, on the inner half of the plate. He's already stepping in the bucket. Open up that front hip, hoping something's on the inner half of the plate. And that was. But anything away, he'd have a tough time making contact with against Richards.
Well, Garrett got him with that slider for the strikeout. The second inning. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Reddick a 1-out base hit over at first base. Valencia's grounded into 8 double plays this year. Billy Butler leads the Athletics with 26 double play balls. He's not in the lineup today. Full count. 4th full count for Garrett.
This is one of those batters, even though Valencia's a dangerous hitter, you had a chance to really finish him off quickly. Now you've caused yourself an extra at least 4 pitches to try to get him out. Stepping in the bucket.
Maybe a base runner on the move here. Or not. Valencia chops this one to the right side. Giavotella drops the baseball. So 1st and 2nd with nobody out. Error on Giavotella, his 12th of the year. His only play was going to be to 1st.
It's one of those plays too. You don't even think about trying to throw the ball back to 2nd. Just get that out at first base. And then it looked like the Sun had any issue on that ground ball to Giavotella.
So 2 on with 1 out. Here's Stephen Vogt. Vogt struck out in the 2nd inning. 1 of 3 strikeouts for Garrett. One ball, no strikes. 32 strikes, 26 balls for Garrett. Unlike last year, where he was pretty much automatic in his start. You knew what you're going to get, especially command-wise.
Especially the pounding the strike zone.
Yeah, this year that hasn't been the case. Came into this start with 70 walks and 195 in the 3rd innings.
What we said often about this Oakland lineup, they'd love to put themselves into fastball counts, and this is a fastball count now for Vogt. They're very successful in those counts.
3-0. Angels giving Garrett a 1-0 lead on the Trout home run at the bottom of the 3rd. 2 on here. 1 out single by Reddick and an error by Giavotella. Bases are loaded for Brett Laurie. 3rd walk issued by Garrett. That pitch missing off the plate. Here comes Mike Butcher for his first visit.
Talked about Richards has gotten 19 double plays turned behind him. Love to get one now against a guy who runs well out of the batter's box. And Brett Laurie. Difficult to turn 2 against him. Real good numbers in his career with the bases loaded for Brett Laurie.
Oakland in general this year has had good numbers. 331 as a team with 6 grand slams.
He's looking first pitch fastball.
Reddick at 3rd, Valencia at 2nd, Vogt at 1st. 1-0 Angels. We're in the 4th. Chopper foul. You can get him to chase. We've talked about that a number of times with Brett. He drew a walk in the 2nd. If he doesn't square it up to an infielder, might be tough to turn to. Gets down the line very well. Oh, 1 offer. Bouncer to third. They come home. They get the force out. They don't complete the double play, but that's all right. You get the lead runner, 2 outs.
That's a really good decision by Freese. You're not going to be able to turn 2 on that baseball with Laurie going down the line. You got to take that force out at home. Smart play by David Freese. Off the end of the bat, when you have to come in on that baseball, very difficult to turn 2. Good feed and a better decision for Carlos Perez not to throw that ball at that point. The first base with Laurie going down the line.
So 2 outs, base is still loaded. Eric Sogard at the plate. He bounced out to Ibar in the second inning. No balls and a strike. Sogard came in batting .250. Home run, 34 RBIs. Swing and a miss, good breaking ball. And getting ahead for Garrett's so key, especially that breaking ball. He's got good tilt to it today. It's tough to rely on it when you're falling behind in the count.
Also, got to remember you don't have to overthrow this slider now. If you go back to that same pitch, go to that same spot.
Here's the 0-2 pitch. That is hooked into right field. That is a fair ball. 2 runs for sure will score. Brett Laurie is going to be waved in. Here comes a throw from Giavotella, and it is not in time. A bases clearing double on an 0-2 count, and the A's have a 3-1 lead. Sogard with his 12th double of the season.
That one got too much in the strike zone. His slider, he was able to track that one well. Too much to the plate. Talked about you can expand that zone, a similar pitch that pitched before.
You can see Sogard too with 2 strikes, just trying to put the ball in play. As Simeon takes inside for ball 1. The walk and the error by Giavotella hurt Garrett, along with the double by Sogard, his 12th. With 37 RBIs, he's at second base. That is foul. 1-1.
We're going to force the club to come from behind once again to win a game, keep this winning streak alive. Plenty of time in this game, but you got to stop that damage right now if you're Richards.
One and 2. Simeon a fly ball to right field leading off the third, so he's 0 for 1.
Six pitches thrown in this inning for Richards. Now 70 in the game.
Simeon goes around. Perez applies the tag. The inning is over, but the Oakland A's get the job done. A bases clearing double by Eric Sogard. The Angels trail at 3-1. Charger with an EPA estimated 31 highway miles per gallon. This car was made for driving in California. Visit Dodge.com. By Heffernan Insurance Brokers, insurance and financial services for you and your business. Visit HEFINS.com. And by Subaru. Test drive the all-new 2015 Subaru Forester or go to Subaru.com to learn more. David Freese takes a strike from Barry Zito as the Angels play from behind here 3-1 in the bottom of the fourth inning. Sogard on an 0-2 count. Bases loaded, doubling down the right field line. 1 ball, 1 strike. Freese, a double play ball in the second. He's 0 for 1. Facing Zito, picked up his first 2 strikeouts in the third. He's also walked 4. He's allowed 2 hits. Single by Perez, a home run by Trout. 2-1.
He's 35 strikes and 64 pitches thrown for Zito. And he doesn't give in often. He tried to sneak a fastball by Trout. He was ready for that one.
And Freese gets into one out to left field. That one is long gone as the Angels get one of them back. 3-2 Oakland. Freese pulling a home run, his 14th of the season.
Well, how often have we said this about David Freese, Mr. Clutch? Made a nice defensive play the top half of the inning, then hits a mammoth home run to left field. Don't see him hit many home runs to that side of the field. Tried to sneak a fastball upstairs to him. Twice he's tried to sneak fastballs by power hitters from the right side, and Trout now Freese, and he paid the price twice. It is way out.
Victorino takes down low. And David, to his credit, got into a hitter's count, looked for 1 pitch in 1 zone and didn't miss it. When's the last time he pulled a hit? He's been so hot since coming off the disabled list. Most of it's been up the middle, out to right center. I'm trying to think of. I mean, that ball was crushed.
Way out. If anything, maybe a ground ball down the third baseline. He's had 10 doubles.
This one pulled through the left side, and yes, it goes by Simeon. So a single for Shane Victorino. Back-to-back hits to start this 4th inning, and we've seen this from this Angels ball club on this stretch that they've been on, where team scores, they've been able to get a run or 2 back, if not take the lead. Hasn't been any quit on this team over the last 10 games.
No, not at all. That's some good swings in big moments.
Carlos, a base hit in the second. He's 1 for 1. Tigers up 2-0. The top of the first. Yovani Gallardo on the mound for Texas. Angels at the start of the day, 2 back of the Rangers. Have a half-game lead on the Astros for the second wild card spot. Off speed outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
It is a lot of fun watching this scoreboard the last few days. A lot of games affecting where the Angels could possibly be starting on Monday or Tuesday or Thursday.
Changeup, little dribbler to the right side. Zito fires to short. Nice play by Simeon to get there and catch that baseball and keep the foot on the bag. They get the lead runner in Victorino 1 out.
He's trying to pull that all-speed pitch. Simeon did a nice job, especially when you have a runner going towards you and you have to reach back. A little sinker he threw Zito to Simeon at second. He wants to be the next Johnny G. Big time for Johnny G to get that level swing and hit a ball into the outfield here for a single. that Zito. He fields his position pretty well, moves around the mound very quickly. Not easy to bunt on him.
Good rip. No balls and 2 strikes. Giamatello grounded into a fielder's choice in the second. One and 2. Movement now. The A's pen. It looks like there's some action for the first time. Zito at 75 pitches, matching his number. Dan Otero, first man up. Changeup line right back to Zito. He dropped the baseball. They're saying he's out, and it's a double play. Home plate umpire Chris Guccione saying he caught the baseball and lost it on the transfer to the bare hand, so it's a double play that ends the 4th inning. The Angels get a run back on the David Freese home run, his 14th of the year. As we head to the 5th, Halos trail it by the score of 3-2.
Boy, was he quick on that fastball, brought his hands inside. He got that barrel in the bat. A big home run, 14th of the season for Freese.
They will send up 9, 1, and 2 against Garrett Richards. So we're giving up 3 runs in the 4th inning. Costly error by Giamatello. Walk also by Garrett. 4-pitch walk to Stephen Vogt. Back to work here. Jake Smolinski leading things off. He struck out his first time up. She's 0 for 1. Swings the first pitch and lost one. The first base side into foul territory. C.J. Cron watches that one going to the seats. No balls and a strike on Jake Smolinski.
Right on that 97-mile-an-hour fastball. Again, Richards, his fastball much more effective when it's down at the knees. Upstairs, straightens out.
This one a little deeper into the seats. Count remains at no balls, 2 strikes. Texas has tied it up. Adrian Beltre with a 2-run home run in the first inning.
Very similar to yesterday when Detroit scored 2 in the first, and Texas came right back with 5. Bottom of the first.
Texas has scored a lot of runs in the first inning. Broken bat roller towards short. Ibar bobbles that one. Second error of the ball game, and that's Ibar's 14th, so the leadoff man on board for Oakland.
Broke his bat. To heel the glove and by Eric Ibar. Smolinski can run a little bit, especially with Sam Fold at the plate. You might see some type of action for Bob Melvin.
Great pitch too by Garrett to break the bat of Smolinski. Here's Fold, a walk in the first, bouncer back to the mound in the third. Freeze in at third base. First one upstairs. One. 1-1 pitch. 1-2.
Good cut fastball right on the inside corner. 95 from Richards.
Pretty good lead for Smolinski at first base. 1-2 pitch. Fold fouls it back. Boston leading the Yankees 4-1. That game's down to the top of the 5th inning. Playing that game in New York. Cleveland's taking a 2-0 lead on Minnesota for game 2 of their doubleheader. Two. That game is in the bottom of the second. Here, 3-2 Oakland. Smolinski reaching on the error by Ibar. 2-2 to Fold. Breaking ball chopped over to second base. Get the lead runner, one away. So 1 out to bring up Mark Canha. This is the Beltre home run and tied things up. Changeup.
That baseball went a long way for Beltre.
He's not going to miss too many of those.
No. We're on his way to the Hall of Fame. Cleveland leading the second game of the doubleheader 2-0 against Minnesota. The score tied at 2 in the bottom of the first. Down in Texas, still hitting Texas with man on first.
Mark Canha, double play ball in the first inning, a ground out to short in the fourth. I think the Fold might be on the move at some point. First one's down and in. Pitch count starting to creep up there a little bit for Garrett. Had a long fourth inning. 27 pitches in that fourth. Canha drives one out toward left center field, chasing Trout back, racing back to the wall, and he will make the catch just in front of the fence. Fold hustles back to first base. Nice job by Trout to track that one down. 2 outs.
He had to go a long way, that's for sure.
Ken, I think, thought he got it.
Yeah, out of the batter's box, he thought he did, especially the way the baseball has been carrying here in these 3 days in an afternoon game, late afternoon game also. Fully expected Trout to go flying over the wall again, it looked like at one point.
Yeah.
The play by Trout had to cover a lot of ground once again.
Yeah, playing that shallow center field that he's been playing pretty much 3/4 of the season now.
He's taking away some hits, but he's comfortable going back on the baseball. Important.
Here's Josh Reddick. Full takes off. The pitch is to strike. Throw down to second is in time. Carlos Perez guns down Sam Fuld. We'll head to the bottom of the 5th. The Angels down a run at the top of their order coming up. Angels baseball is brought to you by Mercury Insurance. On a mission to save you money. Log on to mercuryinsurance.com to get a fast, free quote and see how much you could save. And by Hyundai. Great deals on amazing cars are going on now at your Hyundai dealer. Visit buyhyundai.com today. Bottom of the 5th inning, the Angels down by the score of 3-2. Barry Zito's done after 4 innings. 2 runs on 4 hits. Gave up 2 home runs, 2 strikeouts, 4 walks. Second and final start of the season, maybe perhaps of his career. And a new pitcher, it's Daniel Coulombe, the lefty, on a relief. Pitched Monday through 7 pitches. It's our in and out, who's in, who's out. Eric Ibar, Cole Calhoun, and Mike Trout due up here in the 5th inning for the Angels.
Yeah, Coulombe fastball is 88-92, slider, cut fastball, curveball, changeup.
First pitch changeup is in for a strike on Ibar. Eric 0 for 2, a fly ball to right and a ground ball to short.
Surprised Barry Zito didn't try to talk Bob Melvin and let him go back out for 1 more inning.
Yeah.
Pretty solid effort. His 4 hits allowed in 4 innings. Still not in line for a victory.
High fastball gets him to chase it. 1-2. Coulombe purchased by the Athletics on September the 10th from the Dodgers. Pitched in 5 games with the Dodgers this year. Grew up in Scottsdale, Arizona. Went to Chaparral High School. 25-year-old, then went to Texas Tech. Dodgers 25th round pick in 2012. 1-2 pitch, Eric. And that's out toward right center field. Full was shading him that way. 1 out. Scott Barretta telecast is presented by authority of the Los Angeles Angels and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Angels Baseball LP. Cole reached on the error in the first inning, struck out in the third. The last batter that Coulombe faces with Trout on deck. Dan Otero still warming.
Boy, Cleveland with a 4-0 lead now in the second inning against Minnesota.
Minnesota took game 1 of the doubleheader. 2 balls, no strikes. Two-0 pitch. Caught the inside corner. 2-1. A couple of double headers throughout baseball. Cardinals and the Pirates double dipping. Blue Jays and Orioles. Indians and Twins washed out last night. 3-1. Halos took a 1-0 lead on the Trout home run of the third. Top of the fourth inning. Eric Sogard delivered with the bases loaded, giving Oakland a 3-1 lead. And Freeze, the Angels closer with his solo home run in the fourth, pardon me, as Calhoun works the walk here in the fifth. Here comes Bob Melvin right on cue. We're going to get a pitching change. And the bullpen game is ongoing now for the Oakland Athletics. The pitching change with 1 out of here in the fifth inning. The Angels down 3-2. There's a Fox Sports West this Friday night this week. OC rival San Clemente and 20th ranked Tesoro face off at 8:30 p.m. following the Angels and Rangers game here on Fox Sports West. Plus, you can stream these 4 additional Prep Zone games live at foxsportswest.com and on Fox Sports Go app. Check out foxsportswest.com for more info. Dan Otero takes over on the mound here with 1 out, 1 on. It's 3-2 Oakland. And Otero comes in to face Mike Trout. Otero this year 2-4 record in 40 games, a 6.85 ERA. He has faced the Angels this year a number of times. The Angels finally got to him. He's gone 8 2/3 innings, allowed 2 runs on 5 hits, 6 games.
Power sinker 88 to 93. Slider, cut, fastball, curveball, changeup.
Trout 3 for 9 in his career against Otero with a double and 2 runs batted in. He's got Calhoun at first. The first one in for a strike.
Boy, Trout with that home run, his last at bat now since 2013. He has had 31 home runs at least 430-foot shot or more. Stanton, the next best, with 26 of those big flies.
That is lined back up the middle, a base hit. Calhoun will turn and will stay right there. 2 on, 1 out. Pujols coming up. 3rd time Trout's been on base tonight with a walk, a home run, now a single. Otero's allowed a batting average against a .333 in 40 games this year. Right-handers .336, lefties .328.
And the best approach, especially on that fastball he has going away, is to try to use the middle of the field. Don't try to pull it. And that's exactly what Trout did. Base it up the middle.
Albert, a double play ball in the first inning, a walk in the 3rd. Takes the first one in off the plate. Pujols 4 for 10 in his career against Otero. All singles, 4 RBIs. Two balls, no strikes.
Real good count now for Albert. Center in on a fastball and do some damage.
Toward left center field. It'll stay in the ballpark. Sam Ford is there. He'll make the catch. Calhoun tags. He will advance to 3rd. Trout will stay at 1st. So 2 outs though. With runners at the corners and Crone coming to the plate.
A Hyundai key for this game for the Angels to be successful and win this before going down to Texas. For those about to rock a moment now, we salute you for C.J. Crone, what he has done in the month of September with 20 RBI. Looking for a big RBI here at least with 1 swing of the bat here.
0 for 1 in this one with a walk and a punch out. Trout takes off and no throw. Stolen base for Mike. So runners at 2nd and 3rd now as John picks up his 11th stolen base.
Huge jump for Trout. Now in scoring position, base hit. Give the Angels the lead. Well, that's a pitch. That's a pitch to crush. Got caught in almost like he was looking for a slider.
Two balls, 1 strike. (3-2) Oakland, bottom of the 5th. Runners at 2nd and 3rd. Whoa, what a rip at that fastball. Evens the count at 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And that's been the issue for Otero this season. A lot of pitches up in the strike zone.
Can't get. Obviously, if you're a sinker baller and you can't get the ball down, it's not going to sink.
No, it's a lot less movement on the fastball upstairs for Otero or any sinker ball pitcher.
The breaking pitch, foul back. Another ball that was up in the zone. And that pitch, especially with the way Sogard is shading Crone, opens up the right side of the infield. All you're looking for here is something to find that outfield grass. At the very least, tie things up. conversation here. Do you go back inside on him, you think?
I think they're going to try something off speed, maybe a slider. No, they're going back in.
Broken bat roller up the line. And the Angels will leave runners at second and third. And we've played 5. It is 3-2 Oakland. Top, they will have Reddick, Valencia, and Vogt coming up here in the 6th inning. And scores that we are keeping an eye on. Second game of the doubleheader. Minnesota won game 1. Cleveland leading game 2 4-0 in the 3rd. Tigers and Texas tied at 2. That game's at the top of the 3rd. And just for giggles, the Yankees have tied things up at the bottom of the 5th. They head to the top of the 6th at Yankee Stadium. It's a 4-4 tie. Yankees, of course, a 3-game advantage over the Angels. They've got the top wild card spot. The Angels have the second one. Houston a half game back. They will send Scott Kazmir to the mound later tonight against Seattle. Garrett Richards delivers ball 1 on Josh Reddick. He's right fielder, 1 for 2. A fly ball to left and a single. Richards 4 strikeouts, 3 walks. And falls behind here 2-0. 86 pitches for Garrett.
To keep in mind, Mike Scioscia is seriously consider bringing Garrett Richards back on 3-day rest for the Sunday's game potentially.
That one misses, and it's 3 balls 1 strike. At this point, might want to consider maybe starting to get some guys stretched out there. You need to keep this a 1-run deficit. It's a bullpen game for Oakland now. Reddick perhaps helps out a little bit. Fouls this one off for a full count. It's a 5th full count for Garrett today. Good stuff, but just kind of all over the map a little bit. Not as under control as we've seen him be. Payoff now to Reddick. And a swing and a miss. That has a nasty move.
That was a great 2-seam fastball. I'd love to see Richards throw that pitch more often. Sink action at 95. Absolutely perfect. You see that 2-seam grip on top, and then that sink action running down and away at 95. No chance to make contact.
Yeah. Strikeout number 5, and here's Danny Valencia. Strikeout, and he reaching on the error by Giavotella. Pretty good breaking ball. It just misses low for ball 1. And you watch Valencia's approach to Richards. He doesn't want any part of it. At least on the inside part of the plate.
That's the danger spot. When he's bailing out on the pitch and you throw a breaking ball that backs up in that part of the zone, that becomes a dangerous pitch for Richards.
The old cement mixer. 1-1 now.
That's why you saw that target set by Carlos Perez. Solid job by the youngster, putting that target even off the outside corner to make sure he doesn't make that mistake on the inner half again.
Go slider here after
yes.
chasing that fastball. It's what got him in the second inning.
He's going back out with a fastball, probably cut fastball.
Still, you get a hitter that takes a pass at the ball that way. That's a win for you.
I'd be completely surprised if he doesn't throw a slider now. Same plane, outer part of the plate. Trust that Carlos Perez will keep that ball in front of him if you bounce it.
Two balls and 2 strikes. Trying to sneak something on the inside part of the plate now, and that one misses wildly outside. A full count.
Amazing thing is that wasn't that far off the outside corner.
Yeah.
But because Carlos was setting up so far off the inside corner, you're not going to get that call.
3-2, fouled back. Stephen Vogt on deck. 1 out here in the 6th inning. We're back outside. Down goes Valencia. 2 outs. Back-to-back punch outs.
6 of the game for Richards. Now 201 innings pitched this season for Richards. Nasty slider. Starts in the zone but breaks out of the strike zone to get a swing and miss as Valencia pulls off on that pitch. Career high in W's this year with 15 for Richards. Career high in innings pitched with 201.
Yeah, he surpassed that a while ago, 165 plus.
But as a pitcher, every year your goal is 200 innings.
And he probably, more than likely, would have gotten there last year, the way he was going prior to the injury. Oh, but could have been. What a special, special season. I mean, it was regardless. Hadn't been able to get 30, 32, 33 starts in. He falls behind here with 2 outs. 2 balls, no strikes.
He did 100 pitches now. Had that tough 4th inning. 27. He had also threw 20 in the 2nd.
Vogt struck out of the 2nd, walked and scored in the 4th. Last 7 pitches of Stephen Vogt have not found the strike zone.
I think he's going to be hacking here 3-0. Pitcher's pitch there right on the outside corner. Good spot.
Full count. That one maybe a little bit off the plate.
But still stay away against Vogt.
They tried to. That one misses way outside. A 2-out walk. 4 walks again for Garrett. That's 3 straight starts. Pardon me, 4 straight, right? Yeah, 4 straight starts of 4 walks. So 16 walks over his last 4 starts for Garrett.
That's the 2nd time he has walked a batter after striking out the first 2 in an inning. Did it back in the 2nd. Now here in the 6th.
Brett Laurie at the plate. The walk and a fielder's choice. Fouls off the first one.
It's played by a fan. Mike Moore getting ready down in the bullpen.
Good fastball up and in. Handles in the bottom of the 6th inning have Freese, Victorino, and Perez due up. Oh, 2 pitch. Upstairs, 1-2. Well, likely Garrett's last inning for sure. At 107 pitches. The pesky Eric Sogard on deck. Doubled on an 0-2 count with 2 outs in the 4th inning to give Oakland a 3-1 lead at that point. 1-2. Swing and a miss. Down goes Brett Laurie. A 3 strikeout inning for Garrett Richards. Will head to the bottom of the frame. It's 3-2 Oakland.
Sports update. Cole and the Pirates try to raise the Jolly Rocket. They did in game 1 of their doubleheader where Garrett Cole threw the ball very well. 19-game winner. Crucial twin bill for the Twins. The Twins in the first game win that one, but they're falling behind in the second game. But Torrey Hunter, the bases loaded, comes through with a big double. Giving that Minnesota Twins the early lead in that, and they held on to win that game. Game 1 of the doubleheader. All 3 runs coming across in that double by Torrey Hunter. Fist pumping out there at second base, but behind in the game, 5-0 in game 2.
Edward Mujica takes over on the mound to face David Freese. The first breaking ball is a strike. Freese, Victorino, and Perez here in the 6th inning. Mujica pitching in his 48th game. 3-5 mark. 4.34 ERA. Second appearance of the series. Went 2/3 of an inning in Monday's contest. Gave up a run on 2 hits. Issued an intentional walk. Freese pops it up to shallow right. Reddick racing in, still coming on, and makes the catch for the first out. Freese now 1 for 3 on the night. Advanced season seat deposits for the 2016 season now being accepted. Place your deposit now to receive priority seating for next season. More info and to place that deposit, call 888-796-HALO or go to angels.com/season seats. Victorino 1 for 1. He walked to the second, singled in the 4th. Nothing but off-speed stuff pretty much for Mujica.
He has a good split finger fastball to go along with his slider. It's a little over 44% of his pitches are fastballs.
There's another breaking ball, 1-2. Breaking pitch chopped over to third. Valencia has it. 2 outs. That'll bring up Carlos Perez. He'll pitch to 7th. Carlos had a single in his second inning at bat. Reached on the fielder's choice in the 4th. That's line to center field. Full comes in. He'll play it on a hop and it gets by him. All the way to the wall. Carlos will turn second. He will head to third. And he is in there safely.
And that baseball was seared to center field and got by Sam Folds. He couldn't quite commit to coming in and try to catch that ball, and it got by him.
Single out an error on Sam Folds. That's Folds' 4th error. It'll give Johnny Giavatello an opportunity to tie this one up.
He stayed back on that well and hit a line shot and unable to make the play. Sam Folds caught in between trying to catch that line drive. But what a perfect swing. 2 more hits in this game for Carlos Perez. He sees that baseball getting by Sam Folds, cruises into third base.
Giavatello, fielder's choice in the second inning, a double play liner in the 4th, so he's 0 for 2. Big swing and a pitch up in the zone. No balls in the strike. Angels stranded runners at second and third to end the 5th inning.
And all you want now from Johnny Giavatello is a single.
Taylor's 0 for 4. We've been in scoring position so far tonight. Breaking pitch, that's out to left field, hit pretty well. Going back on this is Smolinski. He's at the wall. Going! Johnny G does it again. Halos lead it 4-3.
He is amazing. He says, I'll see your single and I'll raise it for a 2-run home run. The energy and what he has and those smiles and those high fives as he get in that dugout. You're talking about coming through once again. Johnny Giavatello. Wow. All set up by a great swing by Carlos Perez. Some 2-out runs again for the Halos.
4th of the season for Johnny Giavatello. Make that 6 straight starts with an extra base hit. Ibar grounds this one through the right side and a base hit. The 2-out rally was alive last night. 2-out rally alive here in the 6th.
Well, you just love the energy that Giavatello brings. What a swing. Stride through the baseball. He knows he got that one good. And then he can slow down a little bit with a fist pump for Giavatello. A huge hit. Big fly. 46 RBI on the season for Johnny Giavatello. What has he done since he's come back from the disabled? He has been crushing the baseball.
Edward Mujica is done. A pitching change here in the 6th with the Angels up 4-3. Error by Full puts a man at third base, and Johnny Giavitello with a 2-run blast, giving the Angels a 4-3 lead. Ibar single chases Mujica as we take a look at the scoreboard. The second game of the doubleheader, Cleveland up over Minnesota 5-0 in the fourth inning. Robinson Chirinos with a home run that snaps a tie in Texas, and they are now playing in the fourth inning.
Oh, that big part of the yard too in Texas did a home run for Chirinos.
That game in the top of the fourth. Pat Venditti takes over on the mound. He threw 31 pitches last night. Went an inning and a third. He's here to face Cole Calhoun. A lot of off-speed stuff. Cole faced him last night. In this ball game, Cole's 0 for 2. Drew a walk in the fifth. Ibar's over at first base. Slider. This is low. Cole bounced over to third base in his one plate appearance last night against Venditti, the switch pitcher. That's what he saw last night, a boatload of those frisbee sliders. The Yankees have taken a 5-4 lead. That game's headed to the seventh.
At this point, just take care of your own business. This will take care of itself if you do that.
Cole rips one out to right center field. Reddick's not going to get there. It's off the wall. Ibar racing to third, being waved in. Here comes the relay from Sogard up the line. An RBI double for Cole. 5-3 Halos.
I'll tell you what, I'm seeing a lot of enthusiasm from this ball club and some great swings. Eric Ibar is going to make his way back into that dugout. The energy this team has right now in these moments. And another clutch 2-out swing. Cole doubles his 23rd double, 81st RBI. This ball is crushed right center field. And with Reddick's arm, he got it in quickly, but unable to get the relay in there to get Eric Ibar at the plate.
Pitching change. Halos up 5-3 with Mike Trout due up. They have picked up 4 straight 2-out hits to take a 5-3 lead. I want to remind you that individual tickets now available for all home games during the American League Division Series. Head to angels.com/postseason for more info and you get those tickets today. Ryan Dole, the right-hander, comes on to face Mike Trout. Dole, 25-year-old, native of Winston-Salem, North Carolina. 32nd round pick by the A's in 2012. He's pitching now his 11th big league game, 0-1 at a 4.05 ERA.
MVP chance.
Trout 0 for 1 against Dole. Faced him up at the Coliseum. Slider misses down and away. Trout's been on board 3 times with a walk, a home run, and a single. He's also picked up a stolen base. Home run in the 3rd inning, his 41st. The RBI is 89. Calhoun standing at second base. 3 infielders on the left side. They play the shift on Trout. Slider in there. One ball, one strike. Dole pitched at AA and AAA this year, combined to go 3-2 with a .74 ERA. Check the swing.
His fastball 90-94 range, but slider, he throws quite a few of them. Over 38% of his pitches sliders.
Two one. Another one. 2-2. Total of 13 1/3 innings for Dole at the major league level. 8 hits, 13 strikeouts, 6 walks. Going back outside. 2-2. Shares to the fastball.
Now
Full count.
Gotta believe we'll get a slider here away. Trout can hit that ball real hard to right center field.
Yeah. What a rocket by Cole Calhoun with his 23rd double.
Talk about getting on top of a baseball and crushing it.
Payoff pitch. Check swing, and that's going to be a tough play for Shimmy. 4 times on base, and Cole keeps on running. Easily thrown out to end the threat with Pujols on deck. The Angels hang a 3 spot on the Oakland Athletics here in the 6th inning. Johnny G with a 2-run blast, giving the Angels a 4-3 lead. Calhoun with the RBI double. We head to the 7th. 5-3 Halos. Of the game, tweet us your strongest fan photo to hashtag #WestStateAStrongFan for a chance to be featured in an upcoming broadcast, and it's brought to you by T-Mobile. Well, the Angels went into the 6th inning 0 for 4 with men in scoring position. Johnny G certainly changed that with his 2-run blast. Ibar a single, Calhoun with a double. Trout got an infield base hit. He gets credited with an infield base hit, but Calhoun was sent home, so he got easily thrown out at the plate to end the 6th. Here in the 7th, it's Mike Morin taking over. Picked up his first major league save just a couple of days ago. 3-1 record to 5.29 ERA. This is his 44th game. He takes over for Garrett, who ended up going 6 innings, allowing 2 hits. That's it, 2 hits, 3 runs, none earned. 7 strikeouts, but 4 walks again. And it's the 4 walks with the 2 hits that makes it feel as if Garrett gave up more hits.
A big swing by Johnny Giapatel puts Richards in line, though, to pick up that 16th victory now.
Sogard fouling it off. It's the bottom third of the order for Oakland.
I think sometimes Garrett doesn't realize how good his stuff truly is, and how some hitters just have really bad approaches and bad swings against that cut fastball with slider that you don't necessarily have to overthrow some pitches. I know that innings total is getting up there for him, but his stuff is still electric at this point.
Change up upstairs. 1 ball, 1 strike. Sogard 1 for 2. Bases clearing double in the 4th inning. One ball, 2 strikes. Texas still batting in the 3rd inning. They lead at 6-2 over the Tigers. But it is just the bottom of the 3rd there.
In that ballpark, be a few more runs scored.
Yeah. Still warm in Texas, so the ball will carry.
Big news down with Cleveland up 7-0.
Ground ball slowly hit the Featherston, the new second baseman, and Featherston bobbles the ball. 3rd error by the Angels tonight. So instead of 1 out and nobody on, man on, nobody on, it's Simeon coming up.
But that baseball at the very end hits the heel of his glove. Is kind of using those 2 hands. Plenty of time to do that. Going towards the side of his body, get in front with their 2 hands, and then quickly throw over, especially with that arm strength that Featherston has.
5 errors in this game combined. The Angels now with 88 on the season. Simeon 0 for 2, a fly ball to right and a strikeout. First pitch. Who called time? Simeon backed out, but I didn't see Chris Guccione say anything. No argument from Socha.
Must have been verbally he called it then at that point. And the batter can call timeout. He doesn't have to get it.
Yeah. No balls and a strike now. Again, it's not automatic just because the batter calls for it. Umpire doesn't have to grant it. Popped up behind the plate. This one will land in the seats.
Yeah, I remember a few umpires back in the day. If you were a hitter, you call timeout, you walk out, and he hadn't granted that timeout, you throw anything near the strike zone. That's a strike. I'll let you know when timeout is granted.
And it was a full ring up, wasn't
yes.
it? Even if it wasn't strike 3.
It was the old naked gun moment.
Oh. Enrico Palazzo. 1-2. Boston has tied it up against the Yankees 5-5. That game's the bottom of the 7th.
Boston has been swinging the bats of late.
Seattle hosting Houston. That game will go off in about 35-40 minutes up at Safeco Field. Final game of that 3-game series. Houston will have the off day tomorrow, so that half game situation will kind of get resolved tomorrow. Then they will be in Phoenix over the weekend. Interleague action for the weekend.
That's going to be a difficult task for the Astros in that series. No designated hitter.
1-2. Change it. Down goes Simeon. 1 out.
Back down there in Texas, Mike Napoli. Another all-speed pitcher looked like, and he didn't miss that one. Almost exact same spot that Beltre hit his home run.
Pinch hitter coming up for Oakland. Jake Smolinski's pulled back, so Coco Crisp will pinch hit and stay and play left field. Coco did not play last night, but he saw an appearance in Monday's game. Ended up going 2 for 2 with a couple of singles. He pinch hit in the 6th inning and brought in a run with his single. .175 average this year, .159 from the left side of the plate. Overall 5 for 12 as a pinch hitter. Pitcher will come out and pay a visit. Just don't throw first pitch fastball.
No, he's very quick on a fastball first pitch.
Sogard over at first base. He reached on the error by Featherston. Off speed away. Smolinski finished the ball game going 0 for 2 with a strikeout.
Great changeup. That's the one thing he has done more of, is throwing changeup since coming back up. And a solid job out of the bullpen for Mike Scioscia. More and more changeups. A lot more when he went down to AAA. Better feel for it. Also, his velocity on his fastball has been solid. That went at 70 miles an hour. And the thing he's done well with his changeup, he's changing speeds with that pitch also. 70, 74, 75.
One ball, 2 strikes with 1 out here in the 7th inning. A 5-3 Angels lead. Down and in.
On the slider that time. A little sharper break to his slider also. His changeup has been excellent. His go-to pitch.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Top of the order, and Sam Fold on deck. The Angels in the bottom of the 7th. That Pujols, Cron, and Freeze coming up.
A bigger lead.
Full count.
Looks like Sogard's trying to time Mike Morin. Bigger lead. He may be going here 3-2 with 1 out. Carlos Perez is throwing the ball very well from behind the plate, throwing over 30% of would-be base stealers out.
Check in on him. Oakland with 3 runs, 2 hits, 2 errors, 3 left on. The Angels 5 runs, 10 hits, 3 errors, 7 men left on base. Sogard on board on the error. Simeon struck out. A full count here on Crisp. Sogard takes off. That's line to center field. And that'll fall in for a base hit. Sogard will stop right there. So 2 on and 1 out.
Trout did a good job of deking him out in the outfield. Put his glove up there like he was going to catch that liner. Especially with Sogard going. Could have easily got to third base. He's forced to stop. Nice play by Trout in center.
Top of the order here, Sam Fuld.
So Billy Butler is going to pinch hit.
So Sam Fuld finishes the game going 0 for 2 with a walk.
The guy you can get a ground ball double play against.
Grounded into 26 double plays. 295 hitter this year. Pardon me. 253 hitter this year. 15 home runs, 65 runs batted in. 3 for 7 as a pinch hitter, and Moore misses down and away. Got ahead of Coco Crisp, but just didn't put him away. Good speed on the bases for Oakland, too, with Sogard at second and Crisp at first. Two and 0. Sounds like Mike's trying to just force that changeup now as opposed to just letting the delivery do the work, the grip do the work.
And when it's good, he's the same motion as his fastball. He's trying to cut across his body, not finishing off that pitch.
Three and 0. That was a pretty good pitch. Caught the corner according to Fox Tracks.
Slider right on the outside corner at the knees. Should have been a strike.
And he walked him on 4 pitches, and they're loaded up. So an error by Featherston. The strikeout, a base hit by Crisp. Now the walk to Butler, the pinch hitter, brings up Mark Canha. Canha, the first baseman, is 0 for 3. He grounded into a double play in the first inning. Craig Gentry takes over as the pinch runner at first. He's got terrific speed.
A lot of speed on the bases.
Yep.
Mike Scioscia looks like he's going to go down to the bullpen now.
So Morin given a 5-3 lead. Unable to work around that error by Featherston. It's a bases loaded situation. Angels up by 2. But Oakland stalking here with the bases loaded. They'll have Mark Canha, their first baseman, coming up to face Trevor Gott. Gott pitched in Monday's game and ended up going an inning in the third, allowing just 1 hit. Not face Canha. He's looking to get some couple of big outs here. Kind of an odd inning for the Angels in that Featherston brought in for defensive reasons. Had a slow roller off the end of the bat by Sogard. It should have been out number one. He bobbled it, committed the error. Featherston his sixth error of the season. Simeon struck out. Coco Crisp was behind in the count at 1 ball 2 strikes before getting to a 3-2 count. He singled to center field, and then he walked to Butler, the pinch hitter, forcing Mike Scioscia's hand to get Trevor Gott in here. Remember, as of last night, Joe Smith available after twisting his ankle while the Angels were on that last road trip in Minneapolis. 5-3 with 1 out. No place to put him here. Texas leading Detroit 6-2 in the bottom of the 4th. Yankees, Red Sox tied at 5. Cleveland leading Minnesota 7-0. Houston at Seattle in just a little while. Terrific speed all over the bases here. Sogard, Crisp, Gentry from third to first. First pitch, whoa, up and in. That fastball. 1-0. Trevor pitching in his 46th game, 4-2 mark at 2.98 ERA. He picked up the win in relief on Monday. This one's flared out to shallow center field. That's going to be trouble. It'll fall in for a base hit. 1 run will come in. And it's 5-4. As the bases remain loaded now for Josh Reddick. So that error comes back. Haunts the Angels.
Runs his fastball upstairs at 96, jams him just above the handle. And falls in there in center field. No way Trout can get to that baseball.
Reddick a 1-for-3 night with a single in the 4th. Takes a strike. Victorino shallow in left field. Trout shallow in center. Cole in a step or so out in right. Down and away. Good running action on that fastball. 1-2. Danny Valence is the man on deck. Love a strikeout here.
He'll be ready out in left field with a fastball away for Victorino.
Way outside. Looking at that landing area. Dropping that elbow a little bit. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Two-two pitch. Missed inside, full count. Payoff pitch, and he walked in the tying run. It's a 5-5 game. And still 1 out. Sixth walk by Angels pitchers today.
A lot of walks in this game, especially for a club. When you get ahead of them, they will chase a lot of pitches out of the strike zone.
Valencia looks at a strike. Third baseman 0 for 3. A couple of strikeouts. He reached on an error by Giabatel in the fourth. Little dribbler foul, 0-2. Two runs charged to Morin. Gentry at third base, Cannon at second, Reddick at first. 0-2, way outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. A's had a long 4th inning. They struck for 3 runs. They're having a long 7th inning. They've scored twice so far. Out toward right field, not very deep. Playable for Cole. Gentry, good speed, tagging at third base. Cole with the catch. He's not coming home.
Oh, what a throw it was, too.
You talk about bad base running by Craig Gentry. He was looking at Ron Washington, the third base coach. He wasn't watching the baseball and making the decision. Great throw by Cole, but kind of odd to see a guy with that much speed looking at his coach.
Yeah, you would think at that point you know with your own instincts whether to go or not. Looking over at Ron Washington.
How can you time anything if you're looking away from the baseball?
You just look right at the baseball and use that bag to push off for that speed. Tremendous speed that Gentry has. But what a throw, though, by Cole. That would have been a real interesting play.
Stephen Vogt, 8th man to bat this inning. 0 for 1, a strikeout and a couple of walks. This one lifted foul, 0-2. Trying to get out of this with a tie ball game. 0-2 outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Breaking pitch out toward right center field. Cole's not going to get there. It falls in. 2 runs in. Reddick on his way to third base. And the A's have a 7-5 lead. They went with a breaking ball, and Stephen Vogt delivers. A horrific inning for the Angels.
That knuckle curve stayed out over the plate and went down and got it, especially because he's been late on some fastballs.
So the Angels once again play from behind. 9th man to bat this inning. Brett Laurie at the plate. Fastball for a strike. Texas leading Detroit 6-2 at the bottom of the 4th inning. Really an inning the way it started that should have been very quick, economical, and the Angels done with a 5-3 lead. A little slow roller. Sometimes that's all it takes, unfortunately, especially games like this. Like Bourne had to get away from him. Command, especially on the crisp at bat. Got walking Butler, or Bourne walked Butler, then walked Reddick with the bases loaded. First and third, 2 outs. Here's the 0-2. Almost hits him. 1-2.
Albert Pujols will be leading off this next bottom of the 7th. Got plenty of time to come back. We got to keep it right the 7-5 score though.
Laurie strikes out swinging, and the inning is over, but not before Oakland hangs a 4 spot on the Halos. They lead at 7-5 as we head to the bottom of the 7th. Your home for postseason action with the American League Division and Championship Series. Don't miss a moment of the drama and history. It all begins October the 8th on FS1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. The Angels came into action today, half-game lead over the Houston Astros for the second wild card spot. 3 back of the New York Yankees of the first wild card spot, and 2 back of the Texas Rangers. Needing a comeback here, especially the way Texas is leading the Tigers in the top of the 5th inning in Arlington.
Extremely important to come back and get this game now, especially when you had the lead going into the 7th.
Pujols prone and freeze here against Ryan Dole. Dole gave up the infield base hit to Mike Trout. Pujols grounds this one to the left side. Valencia's got it. 1 out. How important, really, if you go back and think about it, bottom of the 6th inning, you heard it in our voice, the surprise. Cole was sent around from second base as Trout crossed the bag with an infield base hit. He was the 3rd out. At that point, if he stays at 3rd, you got runners at the corners, Pujols at the plate, and you've got a little, heck, talk about a big rally. You've got 5 straight hits.
And then you have a youngster facing a guy like Albert Pujols with runners on base. That's the stressful moment.
First pitch swinging. 2 very quick outs to start the bottom of the 7th. And up steps David Freese. 3 of the 4 runs in the top of the 7th charged to Moore, and 1 earned. Gott is charged with 1. His is unearned. Freese tonight a double play ball, a home run, and a fly ball to right. So he's 1 for 3. 1-1 now. Foul back.
Pretty good hack at that fastball upstairs by Freeze. A big home run early in the game. At that point, the Angels down by 2 brought them closer. An opportunity to do the same right now. To keep in mind now, Johnny Giavitello out of the game. How many clutch hits has he gotten since coming back from the disabled list?
2-2 now. Freeze takes a called strike 3, and the Angels are done here in the 7th. We'll head to the 8th. Halos down 7-5.
Enters the game in the 8th inning, but it's the A's with a 4-1 7th have a 7-5 lead over the Angels in the final game of this 3-game series. Welcome back, everyone. Ken French with you, and don't forget, following the game, it's Angels Live Post Game presented by your SoCal Mazda dealers. Myself, Jose Mota, Tim Salmon will bring you the highlights. Alex Curry will bring you all the post-game reaction. Hopefully, another dramatic come-from-behind win for your Halos. We'll also look ahead to the upcoming 4-game road trip to finish the regular season. Angels leave tonight. They will go to Texas, but they like the Texas Heat. They're 14-2 in their last 16 in Arlington. Also look ahead to the playoff picture, bringing the latest scores from the Astros, Rangers, and Twins. That's all coming up on the postgame show. But right now, listen back inside to Victor and Mark, guys.
Thanks a lot, Frenchie. As Jose Alvarez takes over on the mound here to start the 8th inning with the Angels down by 2 runs. Jose pitching in his 60th game. 4-3 mark. 3 points, 6.4 earned run average. He went 2/3 of an inning, allowing 2 hits in Monday's game. Got the bottom third of the order: Sogard, Simeon, and Crisp. Sogard, a bases clearing double in the 4th inning, his 12th double of the year. 3 RBIs, giving him 37 now.
That's one pitch probably Garrett would like to have back, that 0-2 slider that got a little bit too much to the plate, especially the pitch before was a devastating slider to Sogard.
Oakland sending 9 men to the plate in the 7th, scoring the 4 runs. 3 charged to Moore and 1 to Gott. It out to shallow center. 1 down. The Angels will need some heroics in the 8th and or 9th. Got the bottom third of their order coming up in the 8th inning. Victorino, Perez, and Featherston. Might get a pinch hitter for Featherston, I would imagine, if you get into that situation. Depending on who's on the mound. Nobody warming for Oakland. So figure the right-hander Dole come back out. Simeon ahead of the count at 1-0. Dole's pitched in 10. This is his 11th major league game. He's the pitcher of record. 2 balls, no strikes. Marcus Simeon 0 for 3. Fly ball to right and a couple of strikeouts. This one's out toward center field, toward the end of the bat. And that goes under the glove of Trout. It gets by him onto the wall. Simeon, good speed, will head to third. And he's going to be in there safely. That's a triple for Marcus Simeon. That ball off the end of the bat, so had a lot of topspin. And just dive bombed underneath the glove of Trout.
Yeah, you mentioned that topspin, very difficult to read as he tried to go over and cut this one off. Hit that ball well. That angle, a little bit of a different route on that angle there for Trout as he tried to get around that baseball, unable to catch that. It's underneath the glove for a triple.
Infield in now with a man at third. Simeon's 7th triple of the year. Overthrown breaking ball and almost gives away a run. Nice block by Carlos. Coco, a single in the 7th, a pinch hit single.
Overthrown breaking ball. Nice job by Carlos, who's been very good behind the plate.
Two balls and no strikes. But kind of a trend today. Cute foul, 2-1. Oakland with 6 hits, the Angels with 10. Dole retiring to side in order in the 7th inning. It's the first time the Angels have gone down in order in this game. Game that Barry Zito started, went 4 innings. Coulombe 1/3 of an inning. Otero 2/3. Mujica 2/3. Vendetti and now Dole.
Well, that might have been a play there, a third. Thought about throwing that ball to Freeze. Simeon able to get back. It would have been a close play. It's a good decision. I know it'll keep him close just in case he's going on contact now on a ground ball in the infield. All important to keep shorten up that secondary lead.
Two now. Ground ball to the right side, under the glove and through the legs of C.J. Cron. And the defensive miscues for the Angels continue to pile up. It is 8-5 Oakland. Cron commits his 6th error, and that is the 4th error of the ball game for the Angels. Alvarez is going to be removed from this ball game as we take a look at the error once again. Pitching change here in the 8th, 8-5 Oakland. On. Cron gets charged with an error, but Chris picks up an RBI as Simeon crossed the plate to make it 8-5. Fernando pitching his 70th game, 5-2 record and a 4.33 ERA. He'll be facing Billy Burns is going to come in and pinch hit now for Craig Gentry. The Gentry pinch ran, does not get a plate appearance. Burns will stay in the game and play center field. First one outside. Seems like to a man every pitcher tonight for the Angels have pitched from behind the count. It's just been a bad combination. Hitters counts. The defense has let the Angels down. First time the Angels have had 4 errors at home since September 6, 2011.
It's unusual. The team has played some pretty solid defense during this very magical run.
And through it all, you still feel like you have a shot the way they've played.
No,
especially on this homestand.
You know they're going to have an opportunity if you can keep it close.
2-0. Burns last night 0 for 4. 1 for 9 in the series. Two balls, one strike. Up and away. Mark Canha, the first baseman's on deck.
Canha got that flare last inning. Bases loaded, brought in a run. That jam.
Ground ball, gloved and dropped by Salas. 2 outs. Chris to second base. So Canha will bat. He had an RBI single in that 4-run 7th. First hit of the game. He's 1 for 4. 8-5 Oakland here in the 8th. RBI for Canha the 7th inning, his 69th. 2 balls, no strikes.
Very good hitter's count now for Canha, and good power that he has. Center in on the fastball. You don't want to put yourself in that situation. We talked about coming into this series against this Oakland lineup. You get ahead of the count, you can expand the zone and get some easy outs. But when you're behind in the count, they are very good as far as hitting a fastball.
Total of 18 base runners for Oakland tonight. through 7 2/3.
6 hits.
4-pitch walk. Puts 2 on now. And Reddick coming to the plate.
And so she's going back down to the bullpen again.
7th walk issued by Angels pitchers tonight. And Cesar Ramos has been loosening. He'll come into the ball game. He'll be the 5th reliever used tonight. We're in the 8th inning. It's 8-5 Athletics. Used, and the 3rd one used here in the 8th inning. He's going to try to get Josh Reddick out with 2 outs and 2 on and keep this a 3-run deficit. Ramos pitching in his 62nd game, 2-1 record, a 2.12 ERA, 51 innings, 42 strikeouts, 12 walks, pitched on Sunday through just 9 pitches. So fairly fresh. Reddick is 1 for 3. He singled in the 4th inning and drew a walk in the 7th against Trevor Gott, but at that point loaded the bases. Stephen Vogt delivered a 2 RBI single in that 7th inning to give Oakland the lead.
Still an opportunity to come right back if you can maintain this right now and don't give up any more runs to Oakland.
Reddick pops one up left side. Freeze coming down the line. And will make the catch for the 3rd out. Oakland adds a run. We'll head to the bottom of the 8th inning. Bottom 3rd of the order coming up with the A's up 8-5. looks like Efren Navarro is going to pinch hit to lead off this 8th inning. Mentioned Texas leading Detroit 6-2. Cleveland won game 1. They're losing game 2. And Houston and Seattle just underway up at Safeco Field. The Angels, if they, we'll see how things play out here, but currently have a half-game lead over the Astros. And you're putting yourself into a big-time corner. You lose today and Texas wins. As far as the division is concerned, you go into Texas 3 back with 4 to play. Efren Navarro hitting .256 this year with 5 RBIs.
Forces a sweep.
For the division.
For the division. And that's the mindset this club has had.
Yeah.
Speaking of division, the Cardinals, I think this clinched their Central Division win in their 100th game, splitting that doubleheader with Pittsburgh.
1 ball, 1 strike on Efren. He's pitch hitting for Shane Victorino. Ends up going 1 for 2 today with a single and a walk. Yankees and the Red Sox tied at 5 in the 9th. 1-2. Brian Dole has gone an inning and a third. Gave up the infield base hit to Trout in the 6th inning. One and only batter he faced that inning. Cole got thrown out at the plate trying to score. That ended the inning, and then Dole had a 1-2-3-7, 2 ground outs and a punch out. 2-2.
Good contact hitter in Efren Navarro. Trying to get this inning started. A positive way, get on base.
Dole has worked multiple innings on 3 occasions this year. His brief stint in the big leagues. So it's found it out of play.
He had to go after that pitch on the outside corner earlier in this sequence. It was a called strike against him. It was about a half a baseball or so off the outside corner that forces you as a hitter to go after those pitches away.
Full count. Popped up. Valencia has to charge again. He was playing at the shortstop position. 1 out. There's Carlos Perez. Carlos a couple of hits tonight, 2 for 3. It was his hit and the error by Sam Fold at center that kind of started the rally for the Angels in the 6th inning. Chivatella followed with a 2-run home run to put the Angels up 4-3. Ibar single, then Cole brought hit home with a double. No balls and a strike. Oh, 1 down. Breaking pitch out to left field, hit well. Chasing this one down is Chris. Gone. A big fly for Carlos. 4th of the season. 8-6 A's.
A 3-hit performance by Carlos Perez. Scored 2 runs. The baseball got out in a hurry and far for his 4th home run of the season for Carlos Perez. Hanging breaking ball. Little spinning slider right down the heart of the plate, and he didn't miss it. Good swing there by Carlos Perez. Way out left field.
David Murphy is going to pinch hit for Taylor Featherston.
2nd career 3-hit game. 1st at home for Carlos Perez.
Featherston plays defense, does not get an at-bat. Figure Jackson will come in and play 2nd.
4th home run of the game for the Halos today, too.
And with Murphy coming up and being announced, Bob Melvin will go to his bullpen. And you wonder if Scioscia counters the move. Pitching change. Sean Doolittle coming in for Oakland. It's 8-6 A's. Pitcher off for the Oakland Athletics. Sean Doolittle takes the mound. Doolittle has pitched in 10 games this year. 1-0 record. 4.09 ERA. He's going to face David Murphy. And Murphy just 0 for 1 in his career against Sean.
Doolittle's fastball not quite as crisp this year as last year, though. Still pretty firm. 92-95 range. Slider, changeup, but a lot of fastballs generally from Doolittle.
Started the season on the DL, strained left rotator cuff, and reinstated on May 26th. Went back on the DL on May 28th after one game with a strained left shoulder. First time he's faced the Angels this year. Swinging first pitch, lifts it, foul it, out of play. Murphy hitting .285 on the year, 10 home runs, 49 runs batted in. He's 11 for 33 as a pinch hitter with 3 home runs and 9 RBIs. This is the 9th spot of the order. One pitch. David trying to leave on that swing. Had a pitch to take it down, too. 1-2. Reaching for this one, bounces this one to second base. Sogard has it. Murphy retired for round number 2.
One more hop on that one and have a chance to beat that one out with Sogard. Good play on that one to get Murphy at first base.
At the very least, the Angels will have Calhoun, Trout, Pujols in the 9th inning at worst. As Eric steps in now, he's 1 for 4, singled and scored in the 6th inning. Eric has swung the bat well against Doolittle in his career. 6 for 12, a couple of doubles and an RBI. Downstairs. Running up there pretty good at 94-95. Ultra competitive. Caught the inside corner.
And a lot of fastballs from Doolittle.
22 saves last year and an all-star for Oakland. One pitch. High ball hits one to short. Simeon has it. And the Angels are done here in the 8th. They get a run on the Cardinals. Perez home run. We hit in the 9th. The Angels down 8-6.
Now it's time for the top tier play of the game, brought to you by Arco. Speaking of vote, slowed it. And a backdoor breaking ball against Trevor Gott. It's in the right center field, bringing in a couple runs. It's part of a big 4-run 7th. With Oakland as they take the lead, add another run in the 8th. He just went 8-6.
Danny Valencia to lead things off here against Cesar Ramos. Cesar got the last out of the 8th inning. And now charged with trying to get this to the bottom of the 9th just with a 2-run deficit. Valencia 0 for 4. 1 ball, 1 strike. Two balls, 1 strike. Halos with 11 hits today. Oakland with 6. Both teams are stranded 7. Chopper left side. Freeze cuts it off. 1 down.
Good play by Freeze in that in-between hop.
Darlington headed to the bottom of the 6th. Texas up 6-2. Houston, Seattle scoreless. Top of the 2nd. Yankees, Boston tied at 5 in the bottom of the 9th. Cleveland leading Minnesota 7-1. Bottom of the 8th. Another foul. No balls, a strike. Vogt a 1 for 2 game. 2 RBI single, 2 walks. Strikeout. Takes down and away. A 3-run 4th inning, a 4-run 7th inning for Oakland. Sent 9 men to the plate in the 7th inning. It's Mike Moore to Trevor Gott. Vogt shoots one out to right center field. Cole racing over, dives, and he got it. Did he? Yes, he did. Cole Calhoun. 2 down.
You talk about tremendous range and what an effort, giving up his body to make that play. Cole Calhoun, one of his best plays of the season. He's made a lot of them out in right field. This looked like he was destined for a double. What a diving catch by Cole. This baseball's just about to hit that outfield grass for a double for Vogt. But Cole says, no, I'm going to make this play. And what a play it was.
Mike Scioscia's going to go to the bullpen as they replay it here. The folks give Cole another round of applause. The pitching change at 2 outs in the 9th. Joe Smith coming on to relief.
In the 9th inning, Oakland trying to get some more runs across, but what a play. And the angle he took to be able to dive and make an outstanding play in that outfield grass. The ball hit very well by Stephen Vogt, but a diving play by Cole Calhoun. Look how quick he had to go in the perfect angle he took to make that play. Huge play. Try to keep at this a 2-run deficit.
Joe Smith comes into the ball game with 2 outs here in the 9th inning. 68th game, first game since September 17th. He rolled his ankle at the hotel in Minneapolis. Unable to pitch since then as the breaking ball is in for a strike. Brett Laurie, the DH today. A walk, a fielder's choice, 2 strikeouts. He's 0 for 3. Nobody warming up for Oakland, so it looks like it's Sean Doolittle in the 9th. Calhoun, Trout, and Pujols coming up for the Halos. Angels with the jump on the plane and head to Texas after the game tonight. Start a 4-game series.
In around 2 o'clock range.
This one fouled off. You hope it's 2 a.m. they get into the hotel. Long game tonight. We're pushing now 3.5 hours. Slider got him. Down goes Laurie. We head to the bottom of the 9th inning. The Angels, the heart of their order coming up. They're down by 2. 8-6. Every game we've talked about, especially over the last couple of weeks, it seems it's been a must-win. The Angels coming into action tonight, 2 back of the Texas Rangers in the West, a half-game lead over the Astros, holding that second wild card spot. And again, another must-win situation. They've won the first 5 of this homestand. They're in the midst of a 7-game winning streak. No score up in Seattle, the Astros and the Mariners. Texas is currently leading the Detroit Tigers in Arlington. The Angels will play a 4-game series beginning tomorrow night in Texas.
Just got to get one runner on for this middle part of the lineup to have one swing of the bat and tie it up. The Angels already 4 home runs in this game.
Cole Calhoun against Sean Doolittle, 1 for 5 in his career. The first one's upstairs. Cole tonight, a double, a walk, a strikeout, and he reached on an error. So that's a 1 for 3 game for Cole. Picked up his 81st RBI in the 6th inning with a double off the wall and right. Doolittle with 2 saves, his last one on the 25th against San Francisco. Cole lifts this one foul, headed toward the seats. Long run for Coco Crisp, but he runs out of room. One ball, 1 strike. Last regular season home game for the Angels. One pitch outside. 2 balls, 1 strike. Game in Arlington's in the top of the 7th now. Rangers up 6-2. Seattle batting in the bottom of the 2nd. No score.
Even got a leadoff runner though in the 2nd inning.
Two one now. Upstairs, 3-1. Like you said, all you're looking for is the base runners. Give yourself an opportunity. Trout's on deck, then Pujols.
4 walks in 11 1/3 innings pitched. This year for Doolittle, not quite as crisp with his command.
Here's a 3-1. Lifted foul and out of play. Full count.
A good hack at that fastball. 93-mile-an-hour fastball.
Payoff pitch. Cole drives one out to center field. Going back on it is Burns. He's at the wall. Gone! Big fly for Cole Calhoun. It's a 1-run deficit. 25th home run of the season for Calhoun.
Boy, there's some carrying baseball here. Another big swing by Cole. Doubled his last at bat. Homers here in the 9th. They make it even closer now with that middle of the order up now for the Halos. Challenge him with the fastball. That's a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. Inner part of the plate. Didn't try to do too much. Center field to left center field for the home run.
Trout on board 4 times. 2 singles and a home run as well as a walk. The first one on the way. Big rip, and he fouls it straight back for strike 1.
Doesn't swing at the first pitch often, but boy, did he have a pitch to drive, and he fouled that one straight back.
As we have seen and been witness to with Sean Doolittle on the mound, he does not back down. He likes to challenge guys. Here's the 0-1. Upstairs, 1 ball, 1 strike. Trout in his career 2 for 5 with a home run and 2 runs batted in against Sean Doolittle. 8-7 Oakland here in the 9th. 1-1 pitch. Caught the top part of the zone. Borderline pitch. It goes the A's way, and it's 1-2.
Yeah, it looked like he got that upper part of the strike zone at 94. This, according to our Fox tracks, a very difficult pitch to hit. You're at the mercy of the umpire to call it a ball or a strike. Back in.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Pujols on deck. Then C.J. Cron. Cron's never faced Doolittle. 2-2. Full count.
The machine on deck.
Leadoff home run by Cole Calhoun on a 3-2 pitch to draw the Angels within 1. Here comes the 3-2. Trout walks. Tying run on board. Winning run coming to the plate.
Albert Pujols 2 for 5 against Doolittle with a home run.
Albert in his career 2 for 5 with a home run and an RBI against Doolittle. Time is called. Albert tonight 0 for 3 with a walk. First pitch. Missed down and in.
He will pitch
borderline.
inside.
That could have gone Doolittle's way, too.
Exactly. He's going to try to pitch inside against Pujols, but if he leaves that out just a little bit out over the plate, Albert can square it up.
Lefty on the mound, tough for Trout to get a lead. He had a stolen base earlier. Upstairs, 2 balls and no strikes. Now Vogt out to the mound. This crowd has been into it the entire game. They're on their feet and have been since Cole got to a 3-ball count. Oakland scored 4 times in the 7th to take the lead, retake the lead. Expanded it to 8-5 in the 8th. Carlos Perez a home run in the 8th to make it 8-6. Calhoun homered to lead off the 9th, make it 8-7. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. Albert fouls it back, and he had a good rip at a fastball.
Doolittle went away with that fastball that time, though. Forcing Albert, if he's going to hit one out, it's going to have to be the right center field. And you mentioned it, Victor. He loves his fastball. He will challenge you with that fastball.
2-1 pitch. This one's popped up behind the plate and reached the seats. It's 2-2. Albert perhaps pulling off just a little bit on that pitch. Coco Crisp very deep in left field. They'll check in on Trout. Billy Burns at center, playing at normal depth. Reddick the same at right. Sogard shading him, as you can see, toward the middle. So a hole on the right side of the infield. Here's the 2-2. This one's fouled straight back.
Wow. That got up here in a hurry.
Yep. It's C.J. Cron on deck. Albert with one swing of the bat can send the Angels to North Texas on a winning note. And still with a chance. Here's the 2-2. Albert pops this one foul on the third base side, headed toward the seats behind the dugout.
He's starting to time that fastball well. He's just looking for something on that inner half. If he gets it, look for some damage done.
The Angels with 5 home runs in this ball game. How about a 6th? 2-2 again. Fouled straight back on a high fastball. Albert angry at himself that he chased that pitch. It was up and out of the strike zone.
See everyone in that dugout encouraging Albert to do his thing.
Trout worked the walk. He stands at first. He's the tying run. Back inside they go. And he skies this one to shallow center. It'll stay in the ballpark. It's playable for Sogard. One down. A good battle, but Doolittle wins that round.
Going to pitch upstairs. Just underneath it. Boy, Albert upset because that's a pitch. If he just gets that baseball, middle part of that baseball, that's going a long way. You can see the reaction. But what we've seen from this homestand, it's a different hero pretty much every night. Could C.J. Cron be that hero now?
Cron rides one out to right field. Reddick is playing deep. He moves back, makes the catch at the warning track. 2 down. So the Angels down to their last out. Reddick playing deep there. Reddick makes the catch, and David Freese coming up now with 2 outs and Trout still at first. I'll check in on Trout. Mike was talking with Alfredo Griffin as Reddick was making that catch in right field and getting the baseball back in, perhaps trying to time something against Doolittle. Doolittle's that tying run.
He's allowed 1 stolen base and 1 attempt.
First one to David. He hits this one up the middle. Simeon can't get it. Trout will turn ahead to third base. Freese with a base hit. Tying run 90 feet away.
Boy, is Freese clutching these moments. Still alive. Fastball inside. Got his hands inside that baseball and the barrel of the bat. What a great view that was. That shot by Simeon. And Trout, no hesitation. The reason why you do that is you take away a potential pitch in the dirt.
Colin Cowgill will be pinch hitting here. Daniel Robertson is the pinch runner at first base. Tying run at third, winning run at first. Colin Cowgill 1 for 3 in his career against Sean Doolittle. It was a double. Here comes the first pitch. Fastball bouncer toward third, backhanded by Valencia. Across the diamond, and the Angels are done as Oakland hangs on to win it by the final of 8-7.
Boy, a valiant comeback, just a little short. A great swing by Freese. Boy, and a battle by Albert before just missing his pitch. Tough one to lose, especially when you look at the errors in 5 home runs for the Halos, but unable to pull this one out today. And we'll wait and see how Houston does up in Seattle. They're losing right now 2-0 up there in Seattle.
A very difficult loss for the Angels. A valiant effort on the comeback attempt, but the 4 errors leading to 6 unearned runs for Oakland tonight. 8-7 the final. The 7-game winning streak is snapped. Stick around. Angels Live post game is coming up next.